Samhain, our Celtic winter begins. The cattle slain and salted, the crops gathered as best we could, for the picker began to torment. The veil grows thin and glows all silver as the side mounts open. Light up the Samhain fire and gather around for the feast of the dead.
All round the fire the ancestors gather, a fine table is set and arrayed with the feast. Grandmother, grandfather, blow all through the ether, the ancestors come forth to sit at the feast. Gone springtime and greening, gone summer's bright sun, the harvest is over and the long night's begun. Welcome all round the fire, I bid you to gather, a table I've set and arrayed with a feast. Dear friends long departed, I call through the ether, my loved ones come forward to sit at the feast. Gone springtime and greening, gone summer's bright sun, the harvest is over and the long night's begun. The late and the living are gathered around me, be they flesh or of spirit, their faces I see. Our brief time together in this moonlit moment, we will toast to each other, we will relish this feast. Gone springtime and greening, gone summer's bright sun, the harvest is over and the long night's begun. The fire grows dimmer and the table grows colder, the thinning veil thickens and time's at an end. All those who have gathered, bright blessings upon you, merry met shall we be next we sit at the feast. Gone springtime and greening, gone summer's bright sun, the harvest is over and the long night's begun. The harvest is over and the long night's begun.
This season is our return to chaos, and thus we feast. A ritual for our coven, a party for our coven. A trick, a treat, money for the king, money for the queen. Lords of misrule, shadow, life, death, these gates we must pass, to welcome our dear ones. We will be rested, and with you reborn by our mother. Turn west to the land of the dead. Hold our loved ones in your hearts. There, a resting place between life and life, the silver wheel turns. Follow her spiral path inwards to night and rest. I hear a sigh, a cry, a moan, a groan, a blast rough wind, weeping and her voice. These are my names upon any road.
The calling of the quarters is done by Marion Water Dragon, a close pagan friend of mine who passed over 3 years ago. I love you, Marion.
Earth, air, fire, water. Earth, my mother, my teacher, my home. Grant me strength like that of the stone. Earth, air, fire, water. Air, my breath, bringer of knowledge. The wind I cannot see. Whisper the mysteries unto me. Earth, air, fire, water. Fire, giver of warmth. Burning, changing, crackling, pop. Protect me, and never stop. Earth, air, fire, water. Water cooling, soothing, cleansing, shaping me. Calm my emotions so my mind can see.
Dark Mother, ruler of the night, ancient and wise, goddess of death and rebirth, hear us call to thee. Share with us the bounty of the last fruits. The earth has blossomed under thy hand, and thy abundance has fed us, and shall feed us still through the dark, cold winter. We stand before thee to thank thee for thy blessings, great Mother. With sorrow we know that thou shalt leave us to rest and sleep, awaiting the birth of the sun. Lift now the veil between the worlds, as this time out of time begins, that we may commune with our ancestors as they journey to the summer lands.
Dark Father, age consort of the crone, Lord of the underworld, hear us call to thee. Draw close to us now, the veil is thin. We regret thy passing to the other world, and have sorrowed for thee, but still we rejoice in the might of the God who is born again at midsummer. We thank thee who gave his life for us and to feed the land, so we may live. Now our dark Lord has descended to care for the dead, and for those who are not yet born. As time out of time approaches, stand ever guard as the veil lifts. Keep safe our ancestors and all of our loved ones as they journey to the summer lands.
Horned one, lover, son, leaper in the corn, deep in the mother, die and be reborn. Horned one, lover, son, leaper in the corn, deep in the mother, die and be reborn. Horned one, lover, son, leaper in the corn, deep in the mother, die and be reborn. Horned one, lover, son, leaper in the corn, deep in the mother, die and be reborn. Horned one, lover, son, leaper in the corn, deep in the mother, die and be reborn.
Now we draw back the veil between this world and the next. Let there be harmony between the world of spirits and the world of life. Draw close to us, dear ones from the past. Share with us our celebration. On this night, the gates between the worlds are wide open. We call upon our ancestors, kith and kin, to come among us and celebrate life on the Samhain night. Our ancients, our ancestors we invite, come, here with us stand, kith and kin, wherever the country, wherever the land, flesh of our flesh, bone of our bone, grandmothers, grandfathers, blessed are their power. Past ones and present, at this hour, welcome within are the dead who are kith and kin. Feast here with us, and rest here within. Our hearth is your hearth, and we welcome thee. Old tales to tell, new visions to see, so mote it be.
Do not stand at our graves and weep. We're not there, we do not sleep. Where the thousand winds that blow, where the diamond glits on snow, where sun on ripened grain, where the gentle autumns reign. When you wake in the morning's hush, with a swift uplifting rush of quiet birds in circle flight, where the stars that shine at night. Do not stand at our graves and cry, we're not there, we did not die.
Hoof and horn, all that dies shall be reborn. Vine and grain, all that's cut will rise again. Hoof and horn, all that dies shall be reborn. vine and grain, all that's cut will rise again. Hoof and horn, all that die shall be reborn. Vine and grain, all that's cut will rise again. Hoof and horn, all that die shall be reborn. Vine and grain, all that's cut will rise again. Hoof and horn, all that die shall be reborn. Vine and grain, all that's cut will rise again.
There are many who feel that this is the time at Samhain where the veil between the worlds is thin, where we can communicate with our loved ones and ancestors that have passed over. Most of us communicate with them all through our life, by a memory, by a spark, by a feeling. They are part of us. There are many that I remember at Samhain, but I also remember them through the year. I lost my younger sister, my father, my aunt, and a dear sister-in-law this year. It's been hard, and I know that one day I will meet them again. Tonight, I'd like to remember my mother. I haven't seen her since 2003. It doesn't seem that long. She was a small lady, but spunky. She had a hard life as a child, and she always was a good listener. I miss you, Mom. I send you love.
The person I'd like to remember for Samhain is my maternal grandmother. She died when I was 9, so I never really got to learn as much from her as I would have liked. But she was a strong farmer wife. She had this aura about her that she was a really strong woman. She had a good sense of humor as well. Other than that, I don't really remember that much. We used to cook a couple of things. I remember a couple of things she used to make. My maternal grandmother is the one I'd like to remember this year.
I have a dog, he told me. That's okay, I said. I don't really like dogs, but it's not like we're married or anything. And then we began to develop a relationship. And Chance slowly became a part of my life. And then I moved in with my husband. And Chance went from sleeping on a cushion on the floor to sleeping on our bed in increments so small I never even noticed until I was being pushed aside. When he chewed a hole in the cushion he was sleeping on, we patched it with duct tape. And then one day, as winter was setting in, David came home and found me working on a tie blanket in the dining room. "Who's that for?" he asked me. "No one," I said hesitantly. And I looked down and finished tying off the long strands of the blanket I was making, 1,000 colorful puppy faces staring up at me. He chewed a hole in it, but that's okay. It kept him warm for quite a while, and when he had chewed 3 or 4 holes in it, we had to throw it away. But that's okay. I just made him another one. Chance chewed holes in everything. Underwear, pants, shirts, and my last best tablecloth. It had been folded, and he chewed a corner of it, so that when you unraveled it, it looked like Charlie Brown's ghost costume. That dog loved me, and I don't know why. I yelled at him. I told him he was stinky. I didn't like taking him anywhere, but it seems like every time I left to go any place in the car, he was right there at the front door and I had to let him go. In July, well, let me backtrack. In May, we took Chance to the vet, and he was aged, but fine, hanging in there. He couldn't go as far as he used to go on walks, but he was doing all right. And then, in the next 3 months, he visibly deteriorated before our eyes. He got to the point where he couldn't jump up in the car. He got to the point where he couldn't stand up in the car. And he got to the point where he tripped just walking up or down a step. In July, I said, "Honey, I think it's time. Chance is in pain." And my husband said, "Well, let's give him another couple of weeks and see how he does." A week later, we were in the vet's office with Chance, saying goodbye. If you had told me 10 years ago that I would have grieved myself sick over a dog, I would have laughed at you. But the truth is, I still cry, and I miss him terribly. The other day, David came into bed, and I was weeping. He said, "What's the matter?" And I said, "I don't like dogs." He put his arms around me, and he said, "I know, I miss him too." This Samhain, while I will remember my ancestors, I will most importantly remember Chance. He was a dumb dog, he was stinky, he chewed stuff, but he loved me unconditionally, and I don't think I really deserved him. He was a good dog. He is well loved, and he will be so missed.
Love one another while you're here, and don't ever forget those that have passed. They have touched you and always will, so touch them back. Blessed be. Tonight, as the barrier between the two worlds grows thin, spirits walk amongst us, once again for fellowship and celebration, guiding and protecting us tonight and throughout the year. Every beginning has an ending, and every ending is a new beginning. In life is death, and in death is life. As the new year is born, we are all reborn with new hopes and dreams. I light this black candle. This is the old year. Let it burn. It shall burn away the past. The old year has ended. Let all darkness and evil burn away from this flame. May all that is outworn be gone. I light this white candle. This is the need fire, a bright promise of the new year. A living virgin flame kindled this night. Burn for protection, burn for purity. Light our lives for the coming year.
Air I am, fire I am, water, earth, and spirit I am. Air I am, fire I am, water, earth, and spirit I am. Air I am, fire I am, water, earth, and spirit I am. Air I am, fire I am, water, earth, and spirit I am.
Our Samhain rite is over. Our magic has been cast. Many blessings sent with love in our hearts while remembering the past. Gods and goddesses, we thank you for your attendance here. May our thoughts be your thoughts. May our words be your words. May our deeds be your deeds. May you always live within us. Blessed be, merry part, and merry meet again. Thus we release the east and west. Thanks to them from host to guest. Thus we release the south and north. With blessed be we send them forth. The circle's open, dance we sow, out and homeward we shall go. Earth and water, air and fire, celebrated our desire. We think of those in Summerland who danced together hand in hand. By fin and feather, leaf and tree, our circle's done, and blessed be. The circle is open, but never broken, powered down to the ground. So mote it be.
Apa sih?